Itoi Maple and more than 16 years later, Mother 3 has still yet to see an international release. And like Paula's ability, we can only pray. Besides the game's wit and charm, it's generally touched the lives of hundreds of thousands of gamers and has left a huge impact on the Mother community alike. But thanks to the Mother 3 fan translation, the game is able to be enjoyed by players around the world today. With this being the third video in the Mother Fun Facts series, this time I will be hiding 3 fake facts throughout the video. Additionally, I will be joined by 2 other commentators to tell you about these facts, and they are Monkey Nest and Thane Gaming. And after you finish this video, be sure to check out their YouTube channels for even more content on the Mother series. Now enough talking, let's get into the facts. And Mr. Saturns, because they'll be hidden throughout this entire video. How many can you count? In the cave to the right of Duster's wall staples, the dirt on the ground forms the general shape of Japan.
There's roughly a 1 in 200 chance of encountering the young woman when visiting a hot spring, and a 1 in 10 chance of encountering the old man. During the Taintain Island mushroom sequence, they appear as Ionia and Facade respectively.
In Chapter 2, if you ram into the statue holding the giant metal ball from the right side, it'll fall on top of Duster, then cut to black for an instant game over.
An interview with Shigesato Itoi reveals that if Klaus had managed to pull the final needle, all of existence would have been erased, including the dragon and Itoi himself.
The literal translation of Kumatora's name is Bear Tiger, which may explain why when you meet her in Oso Castle, her foot is caught in a bear trap.
Very rarely, Boney may actually eat a food item that is intended for another character. When he does this, the text box says something along the lines of Boney took out the food and scarfed it down.
Every hour the game is played, the player will be reminded to take a break by the ringing of Letter's bell, in a vein similar to Ness's father calling him in Earthbound.
If the player were to name Kumatora Violet, she would instead be named Kumatora when disguised as a waitress later in Chapter 4, and this goes the same for Duster as well if you name him Lucky back in Chapter 1.
There are several unused cutscenes that were originally intended to play if the title screen was left idling, known as Attract Mode, similar to the short scenes that play on Earthbound's title screen.
Development screenshots of the game were found in 2022 that depicts the game's visual style around 2004, and depicts the game's style as much more fantastical, along with the lines of the Mana series, which makes sense, as the creator of the visual style worked on several of the Mana games.
In Chapter 3, Facade will give Salsa a banana if the player delivers the 3 Happy Happy boxes in the cemetery in under 10 minutes.
Did you catch this? At the beginning of the game, Lucas and Klaus team up to fight the Mole Crickets. Later on, during Chapter 7, the 7 Needles at Chupa Chupioi Temple, you finally face off against the mysterious masked man. However, during the fight, have you ever taken a moment to listen to his attack sound?
The track Baron Factory is a hidden track that not many people get to hear. It's only heard in the Clayman Factory during Chapter 7.
Kumatora uses PK Freeze in the overworld to attack Duster and Wes when meeting them in Chapter 2 before she recognizes the latter. When she joins the party shortly after, she's not at full PP due to having used PK Freeze in the cutscene.
The Mother 3 fan translation has an exclusive secret hard mode difficulty that doubles the max health of enemies, their damage output, and their speed. Rougher, tougher, and buffer. In order to access this increased difficulty, all you have to do is input your name as hard mode in Chapter 1. Don't worry, you can rename yourself later in Chapter 4 in case you change your mind. Also in the fan translation, if you complete the entire battle memory by recording the front and back sprites of all the enemies in the game, at the very end, the final save frog will inform you of your achievement, and tell you that you can access the memo menu. This menu is actually an unused asset from the base Japanese version, and was put back into the game by the translation team. You can enter this menu at any time by holding the L and R buttons while going into the status screen. It will even update as you progress through the story.
Salsa is technically a PSI user, since his monkey mimic move acts similarly to Pooh's mirror move from Earthbound. Salsa is able to copy an enemy's attack. By using the debug room and bringing Salsa into fights he's not intended to participate in, you can see that Salsa's mimicking abilities even extend to PSI attacks.
There are unused cutscenes that were supposed to be used during the forest fire sequence in Sunshine Forest. Behind them, we can see Hinawa, Klaus, and Lucas running and playing when the pigman sets off the bomb.
During the boss fight at the end of Chapter 7, if you're able to put the masked man under hypnosis, you'll soon realize that despite having Strong One as his battle theme, he does not have a heartbeat to listen to.
An earlier design of the pig mask shows their masks looking much more like helmets.
There's an unused theme that many believe to be intended for an unused Geiges fight. Many believe the vocal sample to be saying Ryuka, Lucas' Japanese name. However, in actuality, this sample is from Chapter 4 of OJ from DCMC saying 1, 2, 3, 4.
Whether Lucas likes peculiar cheese or not depends on the amount of characters in his name. If he has an odd number of characters, he'll love it, and if it's even, he'll hate it.
Flint has a hidden line before you go to the final boss. After talking to him 10 times, he'll say, "Geez, you're persistent. You're wondering about my hair, aren't you? That's right, I'm bald as a bean."
The one feeling in your heart experience during certain events actually contribute to Lucas's kindness stats. The stat actually increases the amount of health Lucas recovers with PSI Life Up. Characters receive a massive boost to their kindness stats at level 99, though very few see it.
Lots of bosses, especially those early on in the game, have special dialogue when you rematch them for a fight. This even includes the Mole Cricket, which is surprising because you have to go well out of your way to lose to him.
The 7 Magypsies were named after the 7 modes of music, an idea that came from the game's composer, which allowed Itoi to continue the Mother series musical theming.
During the ending of Chapter 4, Magic's DCMC outfit is distinctly off-palette, and seems to be a graphical glitch, as this is the only instance of this happening in the entire game, including in Chapter 4 itself. His colors being corrected in Duster's room.
Scamp, the village elder who dies during the time skip, is the only character in the game to be given an official age. According to his tombstone, he lived to be 99 years old.
The fake bat and fake frying pan, which can be bought at the movie theater in Newport City, are the only weapons that will actually change Lucas and Kumitora's combo sound effects in battle.
Starting in Chapter 4, Mother series creator Shigesato Itoi and a Brownie Bound Studios employee have cameos in the Yadoin, where they can be heard through a door on the second floor discussing programming the script into the game. At the end of Chapter 7, this room is turned into a cleaning closet.
During the battle with the Porky Bots in Chapter 8, all of the Porky Bots' moves are mechanical versions of Porky's battle moves from Mother 2, such as mechanically pretending to cry.
The Mother 3 characters Lucas and OJ of DCMC actually have official voices. Pay close attention in Chapter 4 in Club Titiboo when playing Stone Sheet Clippers against him.
Ready, set, go!
Early versions of the Mother 3 fan translation replaced this Japanese audio with voices by Reedman and Mila. In later patches, Lucas is instead voiced by the official English voice actress for his character in the Super Smash Bros. Series. It's all thanks to a fan named Carmageddon, who asked Lonnie Manella to read the line while providing a new voice for OJ himself.
Ready, set, go!
The My Secret Life magazine from Mother 2 can be found in the library of the Chimera Lab. Buried right alongside it in the bookcase to its right is none other than the book, Overcoming Shyness, along with Mother 2 as well.
Outside of Duster and Wes's house, there's a tree that a check from behind will display some insignificant text on it. Literally.
The concept of saving with frogs comes from the lyrics to a song Shigesato Itoi wrote that tells the story of someone repeatedly failing at things, only to be told by a frog that it's no big deal and to try again.
If a character is wearing the Leo sweater from Chapter 5, and the player talks to the character resembling Venus from Mother 2 at the Cerulean Beach, she'll lash out at them, saying she wants the sweater back because she's the one who knitted it.
Besides the Mr. Saturn, another species was intended to be in the game, the Yotere-san, a bear-like species that's culture would surround the Oso Castle dance, and were likely the ones intended to teach it to the main characters.
An unused chimera, a type of zombie shroom, has concept art drawn but was ultimately never used.
In the original version of the game, Duster's combo sound effects were screwed up. Each hit in a combo should have its own sound effect with its instrument, but Duster's were misprogrammed, making only the first one play over and over again.
The doorknob that gets ripped off of Flint's door in Chapter 1 shows up in several different locations throughout the game. If the player finds it in every chapter, you'll unlock a secret scene after the end screen. And that concludes this fun facts video. Creating these videos for each game in the Mother Trilogy has been really fun. And perhaps I can cover even more games too if you all like this video. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. This video loves you. Also a huge thanks to Monkey Ness, Thane Gaming, and others for collaborating with me to find these facts to bring you this video. Till next time everybody, Fuzzy Pickles!